I don't tell this story very often, mostly because people either think I'm lying or they try too hard to explain it away. They say things like exhaustion, paranoia, grief. I used to agree with them, because the other option is harder to live with. But every winter, when the nights get long and the roads freeze over, I think about that truck behind me, and I know what I saw was real. This happened in Colorado late November, 2 nights after the first heavy snowfall. I was driving back from my aunt's place near Alamosa, heading north on a 2-lane highway that cut through miles of empty land. No towns, no lights, just fences, frozen fields, and mountains that looked like black shapes against the sky. It was close to midnight, and the temperature gauge on my dash read 8 degrees. I'd made that drive dozens of times before, but that night felt different from the start. The radio kept losing signal, fading in and out between static and half sentences. My phone had no service. The heater in my car worked, but not well, and every few minutes I had to wipe fog off the windshield with my sleeve. About 40 minutes into the drive, I noticed headlights behind me. At first I didn't think much of it. It was a truck, judging by the height of the lights, following at a normal distance. That alone wasn't strange. What was strange was how long it stayed there. Mile after mile it didn't pass me, didn't fall back, didn't change lanes. Just stayed right behind me, steady and silent. I sped up a little just to see what would happen. The truck sped up too. I slowed down, it slowed down. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe the driver was tired. Maybe we were both just trying to get home. Still, I felt that uncomfortable pressure in my chest, the feeling you get when you know you're being watched. The road curved and dipped, climbing higher into the mountains. Snow banks lined the shoulders, tall and uneven, and the asphalt shone with ice. I gripped the wheel tighter, focusing on the road, trying not to look in the mirror. But I kept looking. The truck was closer now. Too close. Its headlights filled my back window, washing the inside of my car in white light. I couldn't see the cab, just the glare and the dark outline of a massive front grille. I tapped my brakes once lightly, a warning. The truck didn't back off. That's when I started to panic. I pressed harder on the gas, my tires whining slightly as the car picked up speed. The speedometer climbed past the limit, then past what felt safe on icy roads. The truck stayed with me, matching every move like it was locked onto my car. I tried turning onto a side road, a narrow dirt path barely visible under the snow. The moment I turned, the truck turned too, its engine roaring, snow spraying up behind it. My heart was pounding so hard, I could hear it over the sound of the engine. "Okay," I said out loud to no one. "Okay, okay." I reached for my phone, even though I knew there was no service. The screen lit up my car, pale and cold. No bars, no emergency calls, nothing. The truck flashed its high beams. Once, twice. The light was blinding. I swerved slightly, nearly losing control, and that's when I noticed something that still makes my stomach drop when I think about it. There was no sound from the truck. I don't mean it was quiet. I mean there was no engine noise at all. No rumble, no roar, just the sound of my own car and the wind screaming outside. I rolled my window down an inch, the cold air slicing into my face. I listened. Nothing. The truck was right there, inches from my bumper, and it made no sound at all. I slammed the window shut and focused on the road, my hands shaking so badly I could barely keep the wheel straight. I told myself it was the wind, the angle, the cold, anything. The road straightened out, and ahead I saw a faint glow. A gas station, or what was left of one. Just a single light on a pole, buzzing weakly in the darkness. I aimed for it, praying it was open, praying there would be someone there. As I pulled into the lot, tires crunching over ice, the truck followed me in and stopped behind my car. I threw my car into park and jumped out, the cold hitting me like a wall. The gas station was closed, windows dark, doors locked. No cars, no people. I turned to face the truck. It was an old model, boxy and tall, its paint a dull, peeling red. The headlights were on, but dim now, like they were struggling to stay lit. The windshield was so dark I couldn't see inside. "Hey," I shouted, my voice cracking. "What's your problem?" No response. I took a step closer, then another, my breath fogging in front of me. That's when I saw the license plate. It was rusted and bent, barely hanging on, but I could read it. The numbers and letters burned into my mind even now. Before I could do anything else, the headlights flickered. Then they went out. The truck was gone. Not backed up, not driven away, just gone. The space where it had been was empty, the snow untouched, smooth and white like nothing had ever been there at all. I stood there for a long time, shaking, staring at the empty lot. Eventually, I got back in my car and drove the rest of the way home without seeing another vehicle the entire night. I didn't sleep. The next morning, I told myself I'd imagined parts of it, stress, fatigue. But the license plate kept replaying in my head over and over. I wrote it down just to get it out of my mind. 2 days later, I was sitting at my kitchen table, drinking coffee and flipping through the local paper. I wasn't looking for anything in particular. That's when I saw it. A small article tucked near the back. A fatal accident on a mountain road. A semi-truck lost control on ice and went off a ravine. The driver was killed instantly. The body wasn't recovered until the next morning. They printed a photo of the truck. It was the same one. Same color, same dents, same rusted plate. Same license number. The date of the accident was 2 days before my drive. I read the article 3 times, my hands going numb. The paper slipped from my fingers and hit the floor, but I didn't notice. All I could think was that it was impossible. I had seen that truck. It had chased me. It had been right behind me. The driver was dead. There was one more detail in the article that I didn't notice at first. The driver's name. When I finally saw it, my chest tightened. It was my father's name. My dad had died when I was 16. Car accident. Drunk driver, that's what they told me. I hadn't seen his body. Closed casket. He'd been a trucker for most of his life, always on the road, always gone. We hadn't been close, not really. The article listed the driver as a man in his 50s, local to the area, survived by no immediate family. Different age, different story. Same name. I tried to laugh it off. Coincidence. A common name. That's what I told myself. But later that night, I dug out an old photo album. There was a picture of my dad standing next to his truck, arm resting on the door, smiling in a tired sort of way. The truck in the photo was red. That night, I dreamed of headlights filling my room, of an engine that made no sound, of a man standing in the cold, watching me through a dark windshield. I don't drive that road anymore. I don't drive at night if I can help it. And every winter I check the papers looking for accidents, for license plates I might recognize. Because sometimes, when I'm alone on a long stretch of road, I see headlights in my mirror that don't quite look right. And I don't slow down. I don't look back. I just keep driving, hoping that whatever followed me that night was only trying to make sure I got home safe. Or hopping it was.
The Angels of Whitmore House. It was June 12th, 2019, when Claire Madsen got the email. The subject line read, "House sitting opportunity, Whitmore Estate." The pay was more than double anything she'd ever earned, and the instructions were simple. Watch over the house, care for the occupants, referred to in the email as the Angels, and do not break anything. The owner, a Mr. Leonard Whitmore, didn't give much else except to assure her, "The house has its peculiarities, just don't break anything." Curious and desperate for cash, Claire accepted. When she arrived on June 15th, the Whitmore estate seemed almost frozen in time. The Victorian mansion's paint had faded, but its windows gleamed as if polished yesterday. Inside, the air smelled faintly of lavender and old wood. The angels were unusual. They weren't real people, not exactly. Small porcelain figures placed carefully around the living room, dining hall, and even on the staircase banister. Their faces were too perfect, too serene. Claire felt a shiver, but it was the kind of job that paid too well to be afraid. The first night she explored the house. Everywhere she looked, she found things that didn't belong. A diary from 1986, a pair of children's shoes from 1994, a driver's license from 2002, all tucked into drawers or behind picture frames. It was unsettling. She recognized the names. They were missing persons. Not just random items, pieces of people who had vanished over the years. Claire tried to shake it off. Maybe the Whitmores collected them, some bizarre hobby, she told herself. But then small things started happening. Objects would be slightly moved when she came back to a room. Chairs would be tilted. A teacup would appear on a table she hadn't touched. She convinced herself it was exhaustion, or maybe the wind. On the third day, Claire decided to clean the main hallway. That's when she saw it, a faint shimmer in the corner of her eye, like a ripple across the floor. She blinked, and the angels were slightly shifted. The porcelain figures seemed to be moving. By June 18th, the house had her on edge. She noticed that no matter where she went, the angels were always just out of direct sight. Turn your head, they were in a slightly different position. Close your eyes for a second, and when you opened them, they were closer. Claire tried confronting them. She picked up one of the angels and placed it back on the shelf. Within minutes, it was lying on the floor again, its expression slightly different, almost smug. The twist came on June 20th. Claire was cleaning the library when she found a photo album she hadn't seen before. The pictures were of people, smiling, unaware. And behind them, in the background of every photo, stood the angels, always watching, always starring. Then she realized the truth. The angels didn't move when she was looking at them directly. They only shifted when her eyes weren't on them. The house was alive with their attention. Her panic escalated. She tried leaving, but the doors that had been unlocked now resisted her. Windows wouldn't budge. Every hallway she ran down seemed to stretch longer than it should. The angels were always just around the corner, moving when she wasn't looking, their tiny eyes catching glimpses of her fear. She remembered Mr. Whitmore's words, "Just don't break anything." It wasn't about furniture or decor. It was about them. Claire devised a plan. She would make a run for the front door, never looking away from one angel at a time. If she turned her back, it would be on her. Slowly, she edged toward the staircase, then the hallway. She counted steps, kept her eyes locked on a single figure, and in a heartbeat of bravery, sprinted when she saw an open line of sight. The front door loomed ahead. She threw it open and ran into the sunlit driveway, the sound of porcelain shattering echoing behind her. She didn't look back. Weeks later, police investigated Whitmore estate. Mr. Whitmore claimed the house was empty and that no one had been inside. Claire's belongings were returned, but the angels were gone. When she told her friends about the missing items she had found, they dismissed it as imagination. But sometimes, she swears she sees them in the corner of her eye in the shadows, just standing and waiting for someone new. She never went back, and she never got the full paycheck. The angels only move when you aren't watching. And maybe, just maybe, they're still inside, waiting for the next caretaker who ignores the warning. Just don't break anything. End of story.